With Randy Orton giving up his spot in the main event at WrestleMania just last week, tonight on Smackdown Live, we find out who goes to WrestleMania to face Bray Wyatt. Let's discuss it. Want to thank everybody for coming on back to the Riggs Beast channel. So let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And let's go beast on this SmackDown Live review, which came to you live from Ontario, California. So normally I like to start in chronological order, start with the beginning of the show and go to the end of the show. But with how this show ended and how important the main event was, we're going to jump right to the main event, folks. So let's go right into it. The Battle Royal for the #1 contender for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. Your 10 contenders were AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena, Kalisto, Luke Harper, Mojo Rawley, and The Miz. Dean Ambrose is going to be the last to come out, and the first person he's going after is Baron Corbin. You know they're going to Mania, and I think it's going to be a great rivalry and a great Intercontinental title match for both to shine on. I'm not going to go over a lot of the spots in the Battle Royal because it's a typical Battle Royal. You've seen one, you've seen them all. So we're going to kind of go over the eliminations as they happened, gloss over the ones that really didn't matter about the guys you knew who were going to go, spend a little bit more time on the guys who you thought might win or had a reason to win, or ones that might have set up Mania matches. So the first one to go was Mojo Rawley. Baron Corbin gets him. Dolph Ziggler then eliminates Kalisto. They were actually both on the outside. Kalisto was going to go for a Salito del Sol. Dolph stops it, grabs the mask, super kick. Kalisto's gone. As Ziggler was trying to get back in the ring, however, Crews stops him. Apollo Crews is able to eliminate Ziggler, which then causes Ziggler to go to the outside, get a chair, go after Kalisto, which distracts Crews, which then allows Baron Corbin to eliminate Crews. Crews then gets the chair and runs Dolph off. So we go another couple minutes without an elimination. These guys were doing a good job in this match. I'll give them that. It was an entertaining battle royal, not a lot of dead time. A lot of fast pace, which is very enjoyable for these. The next elimination, though, is going to be John Cena eliminating The Miz. And by the end of this review, that mixed tag match, which was a rumor, is now 5,000% confirmed. Miz is obviously pissed off by his elimination by John Cena. They go to break right after this. But when they come back, Baron Corbin's beasting in the match. And as Baron Corbin is celebrating his destruction, Dean Ambrose is going to get him. He tries to go for dirty deeds. Corbin escapes it, charges at him, but Dean does the typical tough in the rope. Baron Corbin gets eliminated. Baron Corbin then yanks him under the ring, does a vicious end of days on him. Miz then sneak attacks John Cena, and The Miz eliminates John Cena. So now we are down to Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose, which is kind of sneaking around outside for a minute, and AJ Styles. Now, my favorite spot of this match was when Luke Harper, Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles were all on the outside. They had all gone over the top rope, and they were just flirting with disaster. Just high drama, great stuff. And as they're all battling, Luke Harper is going to be able to nail a super kick on Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is going to be eliminated by Luke Harper. So we are down to Luke Harper and AJ Styles. Perfect choice for the last two. The only two that seemingly make sense to go into the match, and the only two which can have a gripe with losing the match. But now it gets funny. So Luke Harper and AJ Styles have a great back and forth. I mean a fantastic back and forth. It appeared that Luke Harper was going to win. AJ would counter. It looked like AJ was going to win. Luke would counter. They get to a point where they're both outside. Harper's on his ass on one side of the corner, and AJ is trying to get him on the other side. Luke Harper is able to suplex or drag AJ over the top, still being outside, pulls him down, but he goes down at the same time. Now, I'm not going to lie. It looked like Luke Harper hit second, but what they're going to do is they're going to go with the 1994 Royal Rumble or the 2000 Royal Rumble. But I like to say the 94 Rumble because the 2000 Rumble had the Big Show involved in it. Nobody wins, folks. Nobody wins. They're both arguing. The referees are acting like they don't have a fucking clue. Daniel Bryan comes out. He looks confused and goes, "It's a draw." We'll find out who wins, or we'll determine a winner, next week. And as I'm laughing at this, literally WWE does the troll with Bray Wyatt, ends the show with Bray laughing. And then they just go off. That's it. Now, the internet, to be honest here, I think it's going to be split. I think you're going to have some people who are going to look at this and see the business angle of it and understand what they're doing here is this is the ultimate hook to tune back in next week. Who's going? Is it AJ? Is it Luke Harper? You're going to have the AJ supporters who still have AJ going in, and you're going to have the people who want the Wyatt story having Luke. So you have this major hook to next week. That's exactly what they're going for. It's like a cliffhanger at the end of The Walking Dead or at the end of Game of Thrones. You're mad as fuck that they left you at a cliffhanger. You want to know the answer, but you're going to tune back into that next episode, boy, to find out. And that is exactly what they did. So am I going to shit on that? Hell no. This is programming 101. This is television 101. This is television drama 101. Always make them wanting more. And you want more now. You want to know who's going to Mania. So you're going to tune into Smackdown next week. This end is going to be talked about all week. It's going to be the topic of the wrestling community. So I see nothing wrong with ending it like this. It was a bit of a troll. It was a major troll. Don't get that wrong. They trolled the shit out of everybody. But they did it for the right reasons. It gives more intrigue to Mania, and it really gets you more invested. So before everybody freaks out, let's all calm down. Let's realize what they're doing. Let's realize why they did it. And let's see where it goes, because to be honest with you, I fucking loved it. Now, before we finish up with the main event, I just want to be clear with this. AJ Styles is going to fight Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. This is the absolute perfect reason for AJ Styles to have a beef with Shane and Daniel, but mainly Shane. He's going to feel cheated out of not getting his one-on-one rematch. He never got a chance. He had to go through bullshit. So that's how they're going to set up AJ and Shane, whether I agree with it or not. And personally, AJ should be in the main event in my eyes. He deserves it. He's the number one guy in the company. But they're going with AJ and Shane. Chances are it's going to be a good match. I'm not even going to lie. AJ can pull a great match with a broomstick. So with a guy who will jump off of fucking 20-foot high things, it'll be a good match. But AJ should be in the main event. Let's not get that twisted not for 1 second. But Luke Harper is going to be in this match. This is going to be a triple threat match. This is going to be Luke versus Bray versus Randy. That's how Mania is going to go. Now we can get on with the rest of SmackDown. So to start the show, Daniel Bryan comes out. He's going to call Naomi to the ring. Naomi comes out with a significant lip and a knee brace on. The crowd is chanting, "You deserve it," at her. Now, real quick, the "you deserve it" thing is starting to get overplayed. It's a nice gesture. It's great, don't get me wrong, but it's starting to get overplayed. We're chanting it at everybody now. When Bray won the title, when Kevin won the Universal Championship, okay, when a guy who struggles for years and is kept down and finally breaks through, I understand it. But we're getting to a point where it's completely overplayed. This is the second time they did it. I even understood it at Elimination Chamber. It made me feel like maybe my thought of her not winning the title was wrong and that putting the title on her made sense. I did a complete 180 on that. But now I believe we're chanting it just to make the fans, to make us the star of the show, which is not how it should be. The fans should not be the star of the show. They are a supporting act to the event. They're starting to try to take on a larger act, and now this is how they're doing it. Just in my eyes, it's starting to get overplayed, but that's just me. So getting back to the actual event, Bryan is putting over Naomi for how she scratched and clawed her way to the top, which is all very true. And how this is a lot like his situation, again, very true. But then he says that him and Shane got the medical records and that Naomi's not going to be able to defend her title within the 30 days he asked for the title. Naomi, at this moment, did her best work. I said about 2 weeks ago that when they did the contract signing, she was the one out of her, Mickey, Becky, and Alexa that she didn't feel like she belonged. And tonight, with her talking about this injury and how she's crushed, and to be honest with you, it's probably 100% shoot, but you connected with her tonight. And tonight, she felt like she belonged. This injury, though a tragedy in terms of her title, could wind up being the best thing that ever happened to her, because when I was watching her tonight, I got invested in her. I wanted to see her come back immediately now and succeed. And I was always just, well, she's good in the ring, but who really cares? This moment for her could be a godsend down the road. But she does give up the title after getting emotional, talking about the sadness and sorrow of having to relinquish it and how, again, she scratched and she clawed only to lose it. As she's walking out, Alexa Bliss comes out. Alexa Bliss, the ultimate bitch, comes out right as her music's playing as she leaves. Comes in, teasing with Bryan, oh, I think we need to work towards a solution. What are we going to do? Oh, I know. Just give me the title. Bryan plays like he's going to give her the title and then sets up a match, Becky versus Alexa, which is coming up next. So we go in to Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss for the WWE Women's Championship. This was a fast-paced, physical match from the jump. All the way up to the commercial break, they were going at it back and forth. Nobody could really get an advantage. When they come back from break, though, Alexa's pulling herself up in the corner. Becky's going to come for that straight fire forearm she does. She's going to get her corner combo kicks, get a near fall. Bliss then yanks the apron to distract the ref. She gets a thrust to the throat, rolls her up 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss wins the Women's Championship. Mickey comes out, does a little celebration with Alexa, then tries to go after Becky. Becky gets the best of her. Mickey runs off. What I think is going to happen here, and this is just an educated guess, is I think they're going to wind up doing a triple threat for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania between Nikki, Alexa, and Becky if Naomi cannot come back. Since it is past 30 days, if her knee injury isn't that severe, they could be playing this angle to get her back, to get the emotional lift for her at Mania. But if she can't come back, I could certainly see them doing a triple threat. Now, something was pointed out to me on Twitter, and I actually agree with it. We know we're probably looking at a fatal four-way for the Women's Championship match over on Raw, which may be a ladder, may not. That's all subject to rumor. But we could be looking at yet another multi-person match for the Smackdown Women's Championship. And if it's a fatal four-way, if Naomi does come back, even if it's a triple threat, we're starting to get into that way too many multi-person match territory. And especially for SmackDown, you would have 2 of the top 3 single titles defended in multi-person matches. Now, as excited I am for the Wyatt story, I would definitely do the triple threat. That makes sense. Technically, I could see them doing the Mickey, Becky, and Alexa, but I would almost hold off on that because this was a great point. You get too many multi-person matches, it's hard to invest in them. It gets really hard to invest in them. But just some food for thought there. That's where I think it's going. But when that was pointed out, it really sparked something in my head thinking, well, this guy's right. He's right. It does seem like a bad idea. So I almost would nix a triple threat and go with a singles match for the women's title. Or if they're going to do the multi-woman match, and I hate to say this because the SmackDown women have been better than the Raw women and deserve the main Mania, chances are they would put this on the pre-show and make it a pre-show main event. That's just Vince for you 101 there. Raw's got to be better than SmackDown. Raw's got to have the upper echelon. And that's just the way that goes. That's Vinny for you. But now we're going to move on. And we're going to move on to multiple interview segments about the Battle Royal that happened later in the show. Everybody had a chance to talk about this match. They did it in that old style when they used to have them before the Rumble, the pre-taped interviews, if you remember. And I really enjoyed that. Baron Corbin came off good. Dean Ambrose came off good. AJ came off hilarious to me. A lot of guys came off good with that. And I like the chance to get a guy to express himself, have some airtime. There was Soul Crushing Kalisto being Soul Crushing Kalisto. But other than that, everybody else did a really good job with theirs. So we're going to have a really quick interview segment with Natty. And I would love to be 100% invested in Natty and Nikki. They have done a great job. But I cannot get past the fact that I just look at this like a bitch fight. And I've said it for weeks. It just looks like a damn bitch fight, like two bitches fighting over a man. I know they're not, but that's what it comes off to me. Yes, it's my own fault. Yes, I should be better, but I cannot get past this just being a goddamn bitch fight. So that's all I got to say about it. It comes off like a damn bitch fight. They did more interview segments for the Battle Royal. They get to all the 10 guys. I know I encapsulated it earlier, but it was done in between this. Now, American Alpha and the Fashion Police are going to have about a 2-second squash match. American Alpha wins. The tag team division on both brands is garbage right now. Usos are trying to change that. I have called the Usos the PG GTA 5 parody. And they are to me for the most part. But tonight's promo, I give them this. Tonight's promo, good shit. Good shit. They came off intimidating. They came off legit. They came off as a tag team you don't want to fuck with. They came off as two guys that are going to be cash me outside. How about that? And you don't want to fuck with that. And I like that. Don't be a parody. Be the real thing in acting form. It's difficult, but it can be done. Tonight, they did it. And now we get to Nikki versus Natalya. This is actually going to be the last match before the Battle Royal. And this went a solid 20 minutes. And before I even break it down, I want to say that they gave the women 20 minutes, and they did a damn good job. And Nikki, for as bad as she is at acting, awful as she is at acting, she has gotten much better in the ring. And to be able to go 20 minutes in a physical, falls count anywhere match like this, you got to give her nothing but respect, both her and Natty. I applaud them both for being able to do it. And to get 20 minutes on a network television show for the women, that's a big deal, guys. That's a really big deal. They've only done it for championships. This one didn't even need a title. But now to break down the match. Nikki's going to start the match by just spearing Natty, and they're just going to start at it. All-out brawl. They worked their way to the outside where it appeared Nikki was going to pull out a table. Natty attacks her. Natty starts pulling out the table and yells, "Do you want a table?" The crowd chants yes. She puts it back. Nice little bitch tactic there. They keep fighting some more. They get a couple pins outside. They fight into the crowd. Natty does the "you can't see me" as she's throwing punch after punch after punch. Eventually, Nikki gets the upper hand, throws her into the divider. Nikki gets up on a table outside and does an enziguri to Natalya. Looked like that would be the 3 count. They don't get the 3 count there. Before they get back to ringside, though, and Nikki is with John Cena, I want you to keep this in mind. Nikki got caught talking to Natalya about their next move. John is notorious for it. He is passing the torch to Nikki Bella. So now they're back at the ringside area. Natalya is actually going to get Nikki in a sharpshooter. Nikki's going to get out of it, and they're going to fight backstage. Nikki is thrown into Maurice again. We talked about earlier how the mixed tag was 5,000% confirmed. This is why it's 5,000% confirmed. They're going to fight now back to ringside. Natalya goes for the sharpshooter again on Nikki, but Nikki reverses it, gets it into the STF. Up here she's about to win until Maurice jumps her, beats her with what looked like a pipe, but I'm not really sure. And Natalya wins. So between Cena eliminating The Miz, Miz screwing Cena, Maurice attacking Nikki Bella, your mixed tag match is 100% confirmed. Honestly, it's going to be a who gives a fuck match. It's mainly because Cena's got to go away to film another movie. So they just want him to do something to get his name value there, but they don't want to put him in anything big because he's not going to be there to work after it. And that is your Smackdown review for February 21st, 2017. So as always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And as always, guys, keep it beast.